Welcome to Pinvest TV, India's first real estate channel. A ground lease involves leasing land to a tenant who has the right to construct buildings or make improvements on the property. The tenant pays rent to the landlord for using the land. Ground leases are often used to finance the construction of new buildings due to several financial advantages: reduced upfront costs, tenants save on the initial cost of acquiring land, allowing them to allocate capital toward construction, renovation, or operations. This financial flexibility can be crucial for developing new projects. Tax benefits: tenants can deduct ground rent payments as an operating expense, providing tax advantages that owning the land does not offer. Land ownership does not provide a tax shelter through depreciation, whereas lease payments can be deducted. Leveraging land value: ground lease payments are typically lower than mortgage payments for land purchase, enabling tenants to leverage the land's value without the financial burden of ownership. Long-term partnerships: ground leases create a partnership between the landlord and tenant, sharing the risks and rewards of property development and operation. Despite these benefits, ground leases also present some challenges: limited control. Tenants must adhere to the ground lease terms and conditions, which may include use restrictions, rent adjustments, and renewal options, limiting their control over the property. Risk of losing improvements: at the end of the lease term, tenants risk losing the building and improvements unless there is an option to purchase or extend the lease. Complicated financing and valuation: financing and valuing a property with a ground lease can be complex. Lenders and appraisers must separately consider the land and building components, each with its own risks and returns. Negotiation and documentation: ground leases require careful negotiation and documentation between the landlord and tenant, involving lenders, lawyers, and accountants to protect and align their interests. Examples of ground leases in real estate: franchises and big box stores. Many franchises and large retail stores, like Macy's, use ground leases to build and operate their facilities. This approach allows them to save on land acquisition costs and concentrate on business operations. Landlords benefit from steady rent income and the increased land value from tenant improvements. Public and non-profit entities: ground leases are common for public and non-profit entities providing affordable housing, education, healthcare, and other social services. For instance, universities often lease land from cities or states to build dormitories, classrooms, or research facilities. This arrangement helps them use limited resources for their mission while avoiding property taxes. Landlords benefit from the social impact and long-term partnership. Residential developers: developers frequently use ground leases for constructing condominiums or cooperatives. In New York City, many residential buildings are ground leased. This strategy reduces initial capital investment and shares market risk with landlords, who, in turn, gain regular rent payments and potential land value appreciation. In summary, ground leases offer a viable financing option for property development by reducing upfront costs, providing tax benefits, leveraging land value, and creating long-term partnerships. However, they also come with challenges such as limited control, risk of losing improvements, complex financing, and the need for meticulous negotiation. Examples in retail, public, and residential sectors illustrate the diverse applications and benefits of ground leases in real estate.